This is Coach Lee, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about what if your ex seems happy, and what if some well-intentioned busybodies in your life tell you they looked so happy. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more videos like this that are helpful to relationships, breakups, marriage dynamics, mindfulness, and life. So coaching clients will oftentimes schedule a call with me, and when they finally get to talk to me, they're in a panic and they say, some mutual friends of ours said, he looks so happy, or she looks so happy. And they're worried that their ex is now happy out of the relationship, and that means that it's just over forever, and that there's no hope or no chance of getting their ex back. So first of all, as I've said in other videos, be very careful when talking to your friends about the breakup, when listening to your friends about the breakup. Ideally, you would not bring the breakup up with your friends. The reason for that is because your friends will likely overestimate their ability to help you. They will think if they just put in a good word for you with your ex will just say, oh, what was I thinking? And get back together with you. As a matter of fact, one story that comes to mind just because it was so brutal in terms of I warned this person, do not talk to your friends. And this woman just convinced me that this person was her great friend, even though he was a mutual friend, that this person would never do anything to hurt her, and she wanted to be able to confide in him. I tried to get her to listen to me because I had seen it so many times. And unfortunately in life, people oftentimes have to learn that the stove is hot for themselves. You may say, that's hot. If you touch that, it will melt your skin and you will be miserable. But how many times do people look at it curiously and touch it and find out for themselves? So the saying that a wise man learns from the mistakes of others is so very true. And so I'm hoping that in my videos where I talk about mistakes that people make, that you will be able to learn from that. And it's not because I'm sitting here on a high horse telling you how it is. Most of what I tell you is strictly observation. When you start to see a pattern through thousands of cases, 20 years in the relationship coaching service, patterns become clear, they emerge. And one of my strengths based on testing is recognizing patterns early. So that's helpful. It's helpful in this situation. I begged her practically to keep this to herself. I said, talk to your mother, talk to your dad. She really admired her father and confided in him in a lot of things. And she said, I've already spoken to him. She convinced me, mostly because I'm just not going to keep saying it over and over and I have to get off the phone. And so I just said, okay, I guess she needed my permission. And she told this mutual friend who would never, ever, 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 ever hurt her. A few days later, I began receiving desperate emails begging me to take her call, to take a coaching call with her, even though I was 2 months out, that she could not wait 2 months, that she was invoking what I had then, which was an emergency call where you could pay a lot more if you had to talk to me right away, and I would find a way to make it happen even after my full schedule. Now I have the emergency breakup kit that you can get within 30 seconds by going to myexbackcoach.com, and you don't have to wait on a call with me. So get more information about my emergency breakup kit with the link in the description below. I ended up speaking with her, and come to find out, her friend had hurt her. Now, he had not done it intentionally. As a matter of fact, she had told him, don't say anything to her ex-boyfriend. Don't tell him I told you this. I don't want to hurt my chances. I don't want to cause anything else that might keep us from getting back together. But her friend, thinking he knew better, and even if you tell your friends, no, I have a specific purpose in mind, you don't know better, please don't try to help me. If they know you're hurting, it just seems to be so often the case that they think they can help you. They think if they just go talk to your ex and tell them how bad you miss them, how bad you love them, how much you're hurting, that your ex will just go, well, I'll get back together with them. And they will be the hero for getting you back together with your ex. I tell these stories to try to spare you the grief that so many other people have had in trying to get their ex back. her friend had listened to her story, had listened to her pain, and at first he told her he just seemed so happy. And that caused such panic and anxiety within her that after they spoke and after she begged him and told him, don't tell him that we talked, don't tell him I'm hurting, this guy feels he can get this guy to go back to his friend. All it would take is just telling him how bad she's hurting. And so he goes to the ex-boyfriend and talks about how when she found out how happy he seemed, she was devastated. The ex-boyfriend is now furious because apparently his happiness is something to get upset about. At least that's how it comes across to him, even though he should know better, that it's really that she is sad that he's happy without her. But he sent some angry text to her, don't you talk to other people about me, that kind of thing. And now he was back into the relief stage, just wanting to be away from her and feeling relieved that he was away from her. And you can take a look at my video, Stages Your Ex Goes Through During No Contact, which I will link to in the description below. And you can learn about the relief stage that happens right after a breakup most of the time. And how that often is when your friends or someone might say, well, they look so happy. But let's talk about that one quick second. And be sure to hit that subscribe button below if you're enjoying this video, getting something out of this video. I also have a tip jar where you can leave me a tip if you get something from this video. The link is in the description below to my tip jar, and you can leave me an amount that you think is worth this video. But when someone says, and you have possibly heard it, I hear it so often, people worried, they'll say, some of our friends said, he looks so happy now, or she looks so happy, I think she's moved on. First of all, is happiness a look? Do you just have the look of happiness? Maybe sometimes. Is everyone an expert in deciphering that? Did they have a moment where they were laughing with some friends? Were they putting on that they were happy? Were they happy in a moment? Were they in the relief stage where at the moment they might actually be happy to have gotten the breakup over with, but no contact has not had enough time to work on them? Will they be happy forevermore going forward? Or is it just in this moment where they are laughing with their friends? So when someone says they looked happy, it's difficult to even say what that really means, if it's going to last or if it's even true. I want to encourage you not to put much stock in what your friends say. I want to encourage you not to talk to your friends about it. Because do you notice how so many of your friends become experts in whatever the situation is that we're all talking about? Do you notice how many of your friends at this moment in history where COVID-19 is what we're all quarantined for, all of a sudden so many of our friends now are viral disease experts and quarantine experts. People like to talk, people like to be heard, people like to feel like maybe they are changing something or influencing someone. And so they will say things, maybe thinking that they are helping you long term. If they tell you he looked happy or she looked happy, that maybe that will make you give up and move on so that you won't be hurting anymore, which is them trying to help, probably because they care about you, but is the information accurate? There's just so many variables, wildcards, and questions when you're sitting here going to take advice from your friends on your relationship. I remember a friend from high school talking to a girl who was going to be going out with us that weekend, or at least that was the plan. We had been friends for a long time, and she was upset because her boyfriend had broken up with her. And my friend told her about some things he noticed about this guy, and that this guy was really having a good time. It didn't seem like he was even thinking about it, and she should just take that same attitude because it just doesn't look like it's going to work out. She seemed a bit shocked, didn't know how to react, and kind of just walked away because she had class. And I said to him, when did you see this guy? And he said, oh, I haven't. I just told her that so she'd come out with us this weekend and wouldn't get depressed and stay home. I'm wanting her to just get over this. He lied. So how do you even know the person's telling you the truth? Well, this person wouldn't lie to me. Well, maybe. But even if they're telling you what they think is the truth, is it really the truth? So enough about that. Don't listen to your friends. If someone says they look happy, again, in that moment, forevermore, are they in the relief stage? Did they really look happy? Were they just laughing and having a moment? Or are they actually struggling at night? You don't know. And maybe in this moment, your ex is happy. Remember, time is a factor here. It's not just that it takes time because these feelings usually occur at this rate and they could be sped up. It's actually, as I've said in other videos, that time is part of the equation. It's like a cake in the oven. Just because you turn the temperature up really high, it doesn't mean that the cake will be ready sooner. It just means that something with the ingredients of the cake will be a monster in your oven that looks nasty and is probably not even edible and probably burned in spots if you crank the temperature up. Because time is an ingredient and you cannot rush it. The same is true with your ex. It's not just that, well, if certain things happen, we can speed this up and make it happen in a week. It's not like adding extra men to a project and finishing the building sooner. This is time dependent. Their emotions are time dependent. They need to be able to look back and realize this much time has passed. That's when they can actually see that they could be losing you, or they can actually see that you're strong enough to move on, or they can actually say, I haven't had this person in my life in this amount of time. Look at the time I've lost. It helps them realize what's really going on and feel the consequences of the breakup. Take a quick second and click the subscribe button below if you are getting something out of this video. Now, here's another important thing I want you to consider when your friends say they seem over it and like they're moving on. Your ex has been planning this. This did not just spring up overnight. Your ex did not just wake up one day and decide to break up with you. It's not how it worked. Usually it's months in the making, weeks in the making, maybe even years in the making, where your ex even fought with themselves and changed their minds several times. That's what usually happens. And it's because issues happen that over time lower attraction. And at this point, your ex broke up with you because they wanted to. And so a lot of people will say, well, if they wanted to break up with me, how would no contact affect them? Because they don't want to be around me anyway. Exactly. At the moment, they don't want to be around you. So if you were trying to contact them and be around them, you're creating a negative. You're getting on their nerves. You're annoying them. You are presenting yourself at the moment in your least attractive state because their attraction to you is so low. It's when you have to back away and leave them basically where you only exist in their memories at times when you were more attractive, that you can use those memories. And in some way, it's like time traveling, emotionally speaking, and you re-attract them that way. Now, there's more to it than that. And I've talked about no contact in a lot of videos, and I've talked about how to make your ex miss you. As a matter of fact, I have a video called How to Make Your Ex Miss You. And as a matter of fact, I go into a lot of the details on why this works. But one of the biggest things is simply that you don't put yourself in front of your ex at a time when the attraction from your ex to you is lower. They don't feel as attracted to you as they used to. So you're putting a lesser product in front of them. You're trying to attract them back with something that is weaker. And it can get stronger by you taking yourself out of the equation, letting them experience the consequences, seeing that they could lose you, and reflecting back on some of the good times to actually see what they had so that they could actually realize losing it is a negative. So of course, especially if the breakup only happened recently, it doesn't get better in 2 or 3 days or a week or 2 or 3 or a month. And I think that the people who talk about this idea of a 30-day no contact rule, really, I think it just looks easier to people and they figure they can get people to at least do that amount and that will be better than nothing. But usually it's going to take more like 45 to 60 or 70 days before enough has happened. Because as I talk about in other videos, the chemicals related to separation anxiety reach their peak at about 45 days. About 45 days, which means for some people it's 50 or 55 days. That's just a general rule, a general observation based on PhD research. So if your ex, based on the observation of others, seems happy and doesn't want to get back with you at the moment, you actually haven't learned anything new because your ex did break up with you. You see, we're working to change that. Your ex's mind and heart are not where we want them to be right now. We are in the process of reattracting them with the no contact rule or the strategic contact rule, which you can watch my video about that if you have kids with this person or live with this person or own a business or go to school with this person. We're taking matters into our own hands to get them back, to reattract them. So right now, even if they seem happy and like they're moving on, If your ex broke up with you, then we already know that they don't want to be with you right now based on as much as they can see in front of them. But with time, that's when the no contact rule can become a big factor and your ex can miss you and want to get back together with you. So don't give up because your friends think your ex looks happy, whatever that means. And I just want to say again, don't talk to your friends, because if your friends love you and they see you hurting, they will want to help. And they will think that they can help. They will overestimate their ability to help, even if you tell them not to help you. I've seen it so many times. So if your friends say they look happy, say, okay, and forget about it. Because you're working with me. And I'm telling you, based on 20 years of observation, that you have a good chance of getting your ex back if you were with them a decent amount of time and the relationship was good and there was what you would describe as a connection. Attachment is powerful. That feeling of family is powerful. And time is powerful. Don't underestimate it. Trust it. And get more information on my emergency breakup kit that I've linked to in the description below. It's the culmination of my 20 years in the relationship recovery service, and it's a powerful guide to help you get your ex back. This is Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.